Hello and welcome. This is Chrisanne. I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chrisanne. If you saw yesterday's video, my last video, I talked about a very small Tim Holtz Hobby Lobby haul. So now in this video, we're going to be making some things using the things. So I am going to use some of these envelopes. I'm going to use 2. And we're going to make a teeny tiny little, I don't know, what are we going to call this? Kind of like a folio. And we're going to cover that, so don't worry. That's not going to be seen. So all I did was I slid one into the other. That's all I did. So let's add a little bit of glue. We are going to put this together and then we're going to decorate it. Now, I don't always do super well adding the glue before I put things in and together. So let's kind of hold your tongue in the right spot. And we're going to use some of these goodies. And then let's glue this one down. We could tuck it in. But you know what? I'm just going to glue it here because I'm going to cover it. So it's not going to matter. Now, I don't normally buy envelopes that are this dark of a color because it's hard to write on them. But I did have the idea of creating one of these little sort of folio kind of things. So what I want to do is I have some pieces of book page here. I can get them apart. And that's going to be one of the things that we are going to cover with. And let's rip this at the bottom so it's sort of even. Let me grab my ink. Let me grab my ink pad. Hopefully, without dropping everything. Remove that. Whoops, I bonged everything. All right. My stapler kind of holds my ink pads in place. And you know what? I have my little bowls that I just put at my desk. So let's put my, if you didn't see the bowls that I got from the haul when I went to the fair, check that out. Let's grab another one. I love this one. It's probably my favorite. Let's just kind of put some of these together over here. Okay. These are garbage. Let's throw those away. There. And let's just ink this up. You know, I had made a version of this with the envelopes. And I gave it to a friend of mine who was traveling, and she said she loved it. She used it to put like receipts and tickets and different things, like little memorabilia bits of ephemera in it. And she said she was very happy to have it. She traveled Europe this summer. It was kind of a trip of a lifetime for her. friend from high school called her up and said, hey, how'd you like to join me? So she went. And she had a blast, and I'm so happy for her. Okay. There's that. Now we're going to decorate all 4 bits. Let me put a piece of this here. Throw that away. Now my mom gave me a bunch of these little Tim Holtz ephemera bits from our Hobby Lobby excursion. So these are mostly what I'm going to use on this little book. There. That needs a dot of glue. There. And you know what? I am going to leave that white. I am okay with that being white. I'm going to use those. My hair out of here. We'll just get all this glued, and then we will come in and add some of the other goodies. Now, you can either tuck this into a journal and use it to put some journaling, hidden journaling spots, or you could do what my friend did, and she kept it in her pocketbook, and she filled it up with little remembrance things from her trip. And she said she filled it up too. Which I was happy. I was happy that she had it to do that with. Okay. So we have all the book page glued down. I have one little piece left. Save that for another project for another day. Now I have some of these. Actually, kind of like the look of that one. Needs to be trimmed to fully fit here. Let's see what other colors we have. Oh, we'll use that one. I think I'll use that one. Maybe I'll use that one because there's just a little touch of red in that. We'll see. Okay, let's get my scissors. And I think where I'm going to want to cut this is just above these words. And I want to pre-trim it because I'm going to pre-ink it. I mean, I could have inked the bottom anyways, but get a bunch of ink on there. This is why I wasn't worried about folding that flap over. I mean, you can just barely see it. I'm not worried about it. There. Now, do like these. Okay. All right, we're going to use those two, not that one. Not that one. And we'll use those two. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay. I like her for the cover, although she kind of looks like her a little bit. We're going with that. When I do the ink, I like a lot of ink to show. There. Then let's add some of this ephemera. This was from one of the larger groups. I don't remember the name of it. It was one my mom got. Let's see here. Might do that on another page. And then I have my curator ones here, or whatever these are called. So there's a whole bunch of mushrooms. She knows I like the mushroom ones, so I'll use those. Actually, I'll keep those little words for something. Actually, I'll put it in here. Kind of matches. All right, let's see where we can get these to line up. To me, these just sort of add that little finishing touch. And let's see. Oh, there's some nice little ones. The little teeny ones. I think I like it over here better. So tomorrow we're supposed to be getting a ton of rain. I had a reasonably warm weather day today. Not super warm, but warm enough that I put my laundry out, and some of it dried and some of it didn't. And I brought it all in. You know, normally I like to put it out on days where I can leave it outside for a couple of days and it will fully dry. Didn't have that luxury. So it's going to rain tomorrow, but the next day it's going to be nice. So I have it sort of sitting out here. Need be, I'll put it in my dryer. I just don't like to use my dryer because My electric bill is so incredibly high. It's ridiculous. Okay, so there's that one. I'm feeling fairly confident on that being done. Okay. Do that one and that one. There. I like the paper dolls a little more than I like these. Not that I don't like them. I gravitate towards the paper dolls a little bit more, but maybe I should use these a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. I had a bunch of mushroom things here. I think we'll use the big ones on the back. It's the one, oh, it's different than that one. Okay. Okay. There. Kind of overlap that a smidge with the book page. I don't know, maybe I'll keep this one in my pocketbook. I have to hold on to so many of like the food receipts and all that type of stuff. It's nice to kind of keep them a little more organized. Now, let's start with some bigger ones over here. I like that one. My sponge makes a mess here. I'll clean that off later. I like the tag. We're going to do that one. Just kind of using up some of the ephemera and playing with some of this stuff. It's fun. You know, I don't know about you, but I like to buy the stuff, and before I would like to hold on to it. Now I like using it. I like seeing how it gets used. I like watching other people see how they use theirs too. That's kind of fun. Is that sticking? Yeah. There's a little more green here in some of these mushrooms, so I'll use some of these green ones here. sort of simplistic, but still fun. You know, the pictures add a little bit of fun and whimsy. Oops. There's that side and that side. And now I think I want to use one of the big mushrooms. I'll use that one. Get this all nice and inkied up. Put this down the bottom. You know, when you use some of the darker envelopes, it's hard to address them unless you use address labels. I don't use address labels. So for me to come up with a project like this is fun. Even though I say envelopes are so expensive for me, and I do like to keep them for my actual cards, I am okay making a couple things like this with them. Oops, wrong side. There we go. Lepidolite from Buckfield, Maine. Lepidolite is one of the few natural purple crystals that are out there, and it has a very high lithium content. There's a lot of mica in it too. So there's your, I have a lepidolite here. Let's see if I can grab it. There's a lepidolite from Maine. Look, you're getting a crystal. See, you can see all the sparkle in it. That's mica. And you can see the purple in it. This is a raw, untumbled purple lepidolite from Maine. Look at that. Bonus. Tune in to me. You never know what you're going to get. Get a craft lesson and a crystal lesson. Lepidolite is a calming stone because it has the high lithium content in it. I'm not a medical practitioner. Just seeing how things work for me. Me and my family. Let's do one there. And I feel like, I don't know. Do I need like a little something here? You know, I never did one of those. That's what I was going to do. No wonder. Can I stick it under? Nah, you know what? If anything, I could just cut some. Nah, I'm okay with that, actually. We'll leave the front more decorated than the back. I was going to add one here to the back, but that is okay. We'll add that. What I do think I'm going to add is some little flat back gems to both the front and to the back. I'm not going to put them on the inside. I'll save these for another project. save those for another project. Grab some flat back gem and drop everything. I'll get that later. Okay. Way too many here. All right. I kind of like some of the greens. Let me close this up. Grab my gem picker. I know this is red, but I do kind of like some of these sort of more muted greens. Let's do a whole bunch. I have them. Let's use them. So let's do a combination of greens. There's some little tan ones too. Let's do that. That kind of matches the mushrooms. Kind of a brownie reddy kind of one. I need one here and one here. Do a darker tan there. And this olivey kind of green one here. There. I think I got all the glue spots. Yep. And the glue dries clear. So let's open this up while the glue is drying. And let's decide what I'm going to put over here. I don't want to do the red because I think the red will clash too much. The white is a little too glaring on it. I have this yellowy kind of one. Let's do some of the yellows. There. There's all different yellows here. There's some that are a little more subtle than others. And then some that aren't. Some that are a little more orangey. Let's see. Do a pale one there. And then a pale one there. And I think that's all. Let me open this up. before I spill it everywhere. Because I will. There. Okay, put that away. Put away my gem picker. And I'm not going to put gems on the inside. If it's in my pocketbook, it will be fine with the gems. So, and I'm not going to put a closure on it. Need be, you can do some Velcro dots or something like that. I anticipate these getting a little thicker than not. So, yeah, there's that. There's my little, I don't know, what should we call it? Like an envelope folio for receipts. See, I like that side. I like that side too. I don't know. I like them both. And then the insides are very fun too. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Kind of a quick little project here, and using up some of the goodies that my mom gave me from the Hobby Lobby haul. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and check that out. That was yesterday's video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Be free.